Hey guys, I'm Penny. I'm not really a streamer or anything, so sorry if this comes off a bit awkward. A few months ago, I inherited a VCR and a box of old tapes. Mostly old romantic comedies, so much John Cusack, who is great, by the way. A few random horror movies and old TV shows recorded from like public access television or something. Very old school. Watching through them all has been weirdly comforting. Anyway, my favorite tape in the whole box was this one. It just says Aunt Cath, and as far as I know, I don't have an Aunt Cath, but my family's kind of a mess, so who knows. It's like a home movie, sort of an old-timey vlog. Like those YouTube videos where like someone is just talking about their lives, but this was made way before there was even YouTube. And well, it's just really beautiful. And I'm not sure why she made it or who it was supposed to be for, but maybe it ended up with me for a reason. I just had to share it. Catherine, if you're still out there somewhere, thank you. Okay, enjoy. Mwah. Hi. Or hello. So, what is this? A video diary? Yeah, I guess so. So, this is where it all starts. And where it all started, actually. I was born in a hospital right next door to this park. It's actually a senior's home now, so maybe one day I'll end up back in there. So I kind of, sort of grew up in this town, splitting time between my dad and my mom. But no one here actually knows me, which I totally dig. It means I can explore all my old haunts, soak in all the memories, and no one's gonna be mad that I didn't visit. Everyone who knew me back in the day either grew up, moved away like I did, or died.
I love your dress.
Thank you. You should see it on the hanger. I like to come to this park and just sit, or I'll take a walk along the lake by the marina, and I like to overhear snippets of conversation, and I'll just let my imagination build entire worlds out of them. Like, I'll overhear, "I didn't mean it." And suddenly I'm imagining this whole backstory, like this beautiful, tragic romance where they're fighting to stay together, but it just keeps slipping through their fingers. Or I'll overhear, "Did you hear what happened to Sarah?" Or, "He never called me back." And I'll build entire lives out of those scraps. Like, maybe Sarah is a hopeless romantic who's secretly in love with her best friend. And that guy, well, maybe he's just too shy to admit that he's crazy about her. I guess I could just ask them. But I don't. Yeah, no, that would be weird. And I'm not so much into that. Well, I guess because probably the real story is a bit boring. Like, Sarah lost her cat. And that guy, well, he's just the plumber. I want their lives to be full of romance and mystery. But what if reality just can't live up to that? Yeah, no, it's better to just stay in my head where everything's a little more poetic. If you come here when it's late enough and the water is calm enough, you can actually hear that factory humming. And it's been closed for years, so I have no idea why. I just like to imagine these abandoned machines, just running. No rhyme or reason. They just don't know any better. Abandoned machines. Sometimes there are buskers here. Oh, I love that. I always thought it would be cool to be a busker. Just plunk down on a street corner and throw your hat in the dust and just go for it. I'm just a poor wayfaring stranger traveling through this world below. There is no sickness, no toil, nor danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going there to see my father and all my loved ones who've gone on. I'm just a going over Jordan. I'm just going over home. Can you believe this? I mean, look at it. Like, nothing here is plausible. From these iron giants daring the angelic denizens of the West Side to visit the societal scab that is my beloved East Side, to the weirdly perfect cobblestone sidewalks of Beale Street. It all came through the same pipeline of stacked up miracles, and yet it all ends up getting covered in seagull shit. Sorry. This is still a bit weird. If this falls into the wrong hands, welcome to the freak show. I'm back in my other hometown today. I drove past my mom's old house on the east side, the bad side, the poison side, and it still looks the same. The house, like someone slathered it in concrete and threw stones and broken glass at it until nothing else stuck. There's a metaphor in there somewhere. It's funny, this side of town has a reputation for being a bit murdery, but honestly, it's not all bad. Proggy Waldick. What a name, right? Not a nickname either. No, it's literally the moniker her parents slapped on her at birth. She was my neighbor and my best friend. We sort of had this thing where we kind of fueled each other's spontaneity, courage, stupidity. Like this one time we were out walking her dog, Pepper, and we came across this big cardboard sign that had the word free written on it. And there was no mystical items, no garage sale rejects. No, it was just this sign leaning up against a post like it was waiting for someone. And that someone was Proggy Waldick. She just grinned her sassy grin and just snatched it. And next thing you know, we're carrying this thing down the block like we won something. And, a block or so later, we come across these two fancy motorcycles outside of Rack and Snack. And no joke, a family restaurant by day and a nudie bar by night. Anyway, Proggy didn't hesitate. She just sashays over there and plunks a sign down right next to these bikes. Oh man, we were way too easy to entertain. And a few hours later, both the bikes and the sign are gone. So, I mean, who knows what happened? Probably nothing, but still, it's fun to imagine. Proggy Waldick was everything. Beautiful, smart, hilarious. But underneath all that, she was sad. Like deep down, something wasn't quite right. And nobody noticed it. Well, they didn't want to. And even me, I would joke with her like, oh, so you're just really into The Cure, huh? I just didn't know what to say. We didn't really talk about stuff like that. And her parents? Forget it. Anyway, it's graduation night, and there's supposed to be this big deal at Allison Gray's house. A pool, cute guys, parentally supplied booze. I didn't even want to go, but Proggy demanded that I show up. And then she was like a no-show. I was so mad. It still haunts me a bit, how mad I was. If I had known I was never going to see her again. It turns out she came here instead. She climbed up to the top of the bridge tower. Swan dive. Her beautiful face straight into the concrete. Her mom told herself that it was an accident. Like, Proggy was aiming for the canal but slipped. Something. It's bullshit. Proggy was wild, but she was good. She wasn't climbing that thing without bad intent. My grandpa, he was a bridge operator. He never missed an opportunity to tell us kids about how dangerous it was. We knew better. Besides, no one in their right mind is diving into that canal. No one. Her dad went straight into a pill habit. Her folks, they split up. I don't even know if he's alive, honestly. Wow, that was dark. But these are the things you think about, right? Like maybe if you live long enough, maybe every memory has a bit of sadness rolled into it. All right. So, here we are. Nickel Beach used to be like the place, like lined with cars, pulsing with music, and enough exposed flesh to make Brian De Palma blush. Now, not so much. It was labeled toxic for years and unofficially closed. You could still get in, but there were signs everywhere. And when they finally reopened it, it just wasn't the same. You know, no more cars allowed, no more live music, just sand and water. And I mean, sure, like, a beach is still a beach, but it isn't our beach anymore, you know? I guess Live music just lost its allure. No one's impressed with the circus anymore. I read that somewhere. But there was a time when everyone flocked to see the skill, the precision, the danger, like everything that made it magical. And now we're all just like, bah, seen it, what's next? But there used to be live music all over this town. Like here, the arena, and I swear every bar in town had a stage big enough for at least an acoustic duo. Now we're all like wobbly pops on the couch and some shitty movie of the week. I remember sitting right about here, watching my grandfather spread my grandmother's ashes. He was a bridge operator, like tough as nails, but he broke. He just wept. His whole world stopped turning. I'll never forget it. He was never the same after. Love is a skill, you know? Not just some big, foofy emotion. And love is certainly not for cowards. Oh, life. Sometimes just feels like a dream from my childhood that I just haven't woken up from yet. Maybe I never will. Anyway, that's Nickel Beach. That glow, that's Dixon Town. If a guy wanted to crush the first date with you, that's where he brought you. Swanky restaurants, fancy theaters. They still have the best one around. And they used to bring in all of the best concerts. It was like the place. A bit hoity-toity, if I'm being honest. But still, if you wanted to impress, you started there and you ended right here with this view. It's romantic. Until I started thinking about my great-grandmother. She was one of those serious church bake sale types, but when she cracked a joke, it was gold. When you have a boy, you only have one dick to worry about. But if you have a girl, you have all the dicks in town to worry about. I swear I still think about that every time I hear the name Dixon Town. She also famously dogged my dad about his smoking. If the Lord wanted you to smoke, he'd have put a chimney in your head. She lived until I went to college, but by the time I was in the 10th grade, she didn't really know who I was anymore. But that sure didn't stop her from having an opinion. She might be the source of what Proggy liked to call my hereditary pipeline to all manner of profound nonsense. Maybe. But I like to think I've learned how to etch my opinions in mud, you know, just in case they're in need of revision. No one stays the same person forever. I'd like to think I'm susceptible to improvement. My ex might disagree. I'm not good at romance. And it's not for a lack of trying, believe me. I think I'm a good friend, though. Loyal. Maybe someday I'll learn how to put those things together. Someday. I came here to tell him. My dad, he died in a boating accident. If there is anyone I've ever known who would fake their own death, it would be him. Sometimes I wonder, not seriously, but wouldn't that be wild? He was smart, like really smart. He always managed to fall ass backwards into money. He was primarily in the arts, and everyone loved him too. Like charisma for days. He could tell a story like no one else. You wouldn't even know he'd be telling a joke until you were crying laughing at the punchline. Other times, though, he could be as abrasive as gas station toilet paper. But unlike my mom, I kind of liked all of it. Like the charm, the wit, the rough edges. She left him. I don't think he was exactly faithful, though I don't know that for sure. She hasn't really said anything bad about him to me. But I can just tell when she's biting her tongue. My mom is clean cut. She wouldn't say shit with a mouthful. And she doesn't have much patience for eccentricity. Sometimes I think about the idea of johatsu. It's these people in Japan, you know, where they just disappear. But on purpose. They hire these companies, these night movers. It's a whole thing. And they just vanish. Sometimes I wonder if my dad just took his broken heart and poof, gone. I know. I know. It's just, sometimes there are these impossible situations in life where I'm just like, he would know what to do. I was angry at first, but I was pretty resilient back then, and you learn pretty quick that bitterness is no good. It does not stay contained. It's like an infection. I watched it eat up my stepmother, and in fact, I think it's a big part of why my mom can't fall asleep at night. She grew to kind of despise him, I guess. But at the same time, he was her only great love. Maybe she imagined a future where they'd somehow patch things up, and then when he died, maybe it's no good living to the point where the candles cost more than the cake. So, yeah, I got my diploma. Well, I technically have one more assignment due, but it's graded more on the concept versus the outcome. So I guess I'm a teacher now. And I came here to tell him. Weird, maybe, but don't you ever feel like the supernatural world is just right there? Like, just out of reach. Maybe he'll get the message. Maybe somewhere out there he's feeling proud.
No one tells you growing up that there's a very real risk of becoming profoundly lonely.
I almost forgot about this. That would have been unfortunate. So, last week, I started teaching. 3rd grade. It's been amazing. Messy, like not at all what I thought it would be, but also exactly what I needed it to be. You know, when you imagine something in your head, you build it up piece by piece to just be this perfect vision. And then reality just shows up and blows that all out of the water. Well, yeah. Reality has been a lot of fun. I have this adorable little guy in my class, like big glasses, the cutest haircut, like suspenders every day. He's smart, he's curious, and he hates cursive. Like, hates it. Miss Catherine, I can't do it. It's impossible. But everything feels impossible until you're on the other side of it. And so I tell him, I know it's hard, but we can do hard things. We're both new to the 3rd grade. I'm worried about teaching, and you're worried about cursive. So let's do hard things together. And you know what? He's all about it. But it's our approach to impossible. Like, that's the game right there. And people have been doing impossible shit since the dawn of time. Even if that's out of pure spite, but hey, whatever works. It's funny, looking back. I thought everything I learned in school was useless. Like high school, college. I just thought I was storing away this information to never use it again. But it turns out, everything we learn is useful. Even if that's just learning how to learn. Like, preparation is what keeps us from becoming bad luck's favorite dance partner.
What is that? I think that's a video camera.
Yep.
Amazing. Sorry for interrupting.
No worries. You know, what I do worry about, though, with teaching, is taking it for granted. It happens so easily. It's almost like we're hardwired to stop appreciating things the moment it becomes routine. And sure, like that's progress, baby. But it also screws up relationships. We stop paying attention, or they do. Like I was in the teacher's lounge and I was overhearing these teachers grumbling about the principal or gossiping about who's failing to climb the ladder. It's almost like they can't wait for someone to screw up so they can feel what? Like, that's not me. I won't be one of the grave dancers. Fuck that. I've spent way too much time feeling like a ghost in my own life to start haunting someone else's. I want to test this theory that I have, where even if nothing goes to plan, you can still love your life. Like, maybe if you lean in so hard, the plan doesn't matter. So, I've been trying to flex that love muscle, loving my job, like loving my life, and maybe...
Excuse me, miss. Are you lost?
Oh no, thank you. I'm just looking for someone.
I see.
Yeah. Me too. So, Here's to doing hard things, to messy reality, and to the joy of possibility. I'm gonna save this one.